más locas. Yo soy Don Dinero, DJ Sama. Aquí vamos.
It's not an Instagram moment, party people. I'm living my best life, man.
Welcome back to the Potentialists with yours truly, Bert Oliva. Today, I have an amazing guest. He's a legend in South Florida. He's been in the radio business. You probably have heard his voice before. I'm just going to bring him in and let him explain to us who he actually is. Looking forward to introducing my friend and legend, Felix Sama.
What's going on, Bert? How are you, man?
Good, man. How you doing?
I can't complain. You know, I'm living my best life, man. A lot of work, a lot of challenges, but that's what we live for. We live to challenge ourselves to see if we can excel and reach another plateau.
Let me tell you, I know you for years.
Yeah.
And before we started the show, one of the things that I said was, I have not seen you this excited, but I don't want to give it away yet. You're so excited. It's like when we first met, when you were hungry.
Yeah.
You had that drive, that energy. It's like, I'm looking
Motivation.
at a 20-year-old guy again.
Yeah.
And that's usually when you find certain things in your life, and you are now living your purpose.
Yeah.
That's the way I'm seeing it.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to all the crossroads yet, but I'm definitely on my way. You know, I'm definitely on my way capturing the items that I want to capture spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and then some.
So it takes for us to get at a certain age to actually enjoy these things. Is that what happens?
Yeah.
We heard it from our parents, but now we're realizing, this right now, our age is the new 30. You're alive, you're awake, you're looking at things differently, you're focused. And that's what I'm saying. When I saw you walk into the studio today, I was like, my God, he's alive again. The energy has shifted.
Yeah.
But I want to go back to the beginning. Where are you originally from?
I was born in Cuba.
Oh, so you're Cuban born, American made.
Yes.
That's what I tell people at the end of my talk.
And I saw that on your Instagram, and I had to snag it. And I snagged it, and I used it on my Facebook and my Instagram.
Yeah, so you guys know now that if you see it, that was the original.
He was the original. I give him
Cuban born, American made.
I love that because that encompasses who I am.
Yeah.
Cuban born, always true to my Cuban roots. My traditions that I've learned throughout my whole livelihood, and also respecting the opportunities that America has given me.
So when did you come to the United States?
When I was 2.5. Moved straight to Chicago.
Chicago?
Yeah. Spent my childhood in Chicago and then migrated over to Miami around the age of 12, 13 years old. Yeah, I mean, my love for music has always been there, but I really started to hone in on wanting music to be a part of my life even more when I was a teenager, about 13, 14 years old.
That's when it started hitting the bug.
Yeah.
That's when you started getting the bug.
That's when I started seeing DJs and going, hey, what's that? Oh, there's women like migrating all over this guy. What's going on here?
So you did it for the music or you did it for the women?
Well, for both. I was like, this guy's getting a lot of attention. I need to learn about this. Maybe this is something I could do
but
for a
back
career.
then, DJs were not like we know DJs today, right?
Yeah, it wasn't the saturation that's going on now. I knew maybe 2 or 3 DJs in my neighborhood. That was about it.
Okay, so you started DJing at 13 or you started getting into it?
I started getting into music at 13. I mean, I started off with a tape deck, bro, for God's sakes. You know what I mean? Like pausing the tape deck, waiting for the beat to come back in, like the part that I wanted, and then unpausing it. And that's the way we used to edit record back in the day. And then I bought my first pair of turntables when I was about 15, 16 years old. I bought my first Technique No, it wasn't even Techniques. I think it was Gemini. Yeah.
So you started really young.
Yeah, I started really young.
And
my
lessons.
first mixer was a knob mixer. It just went from one source to the next source with a knob. That was my first mixer, a little black. Didn't even have a damn name.
Did you see it as a future thing or it was just a hobby?
Yeah.
Oh, you saw it as a business.
I got into breakdancing in the very beginning and playing music, and then the DJing part really started to grow into me. And I was like, you know what? Let me just focus on this, start doing house parties, and see where it goes from there. And that's exactly what I did. I joined a mobile DJ company, and I started doing house parties, weddings, bar mitzvahs, and all that stuff. And that's how I really started getting my feet wet inside the mobile DJ business.
Meanwhile, did you finish school or?
Yeah. I graduated from North Miami Senior High, and I went to Miami-Dade Community College. And then I felt that I needed further education in music and engineering. So I went to Full Sail Recording for the Arts in Altamont Springs, Orlando.
Nice. So how long were you there?
About a year and a half. When I went to Full Sail, that was back in around 88. It was around 88, 89. I was already on, I started Hot 105, mixing on Hot 105 in 85. So I was already 3 years into being a radio
How'd you get that
mixer.
gig?
A friend of mine by the name of Richie was an intern at Hot 105, and he told us, hey, guys, it was me and my boy, Mix Magician AD. He goes, guys, you should submit a mix to Phil Jones, who was the head mixer back then. And we worked on a mixtape, got it all spiced up and hot, and we gave it to him. He gave it to Phil Jones, and Phil heard it, and he was like, wow, these guys are incredible. Let me bring them in and see if they can do guest spots on Hot 105, and that's where the magic started, man.
DJing for clubs, for house parties and stuff is way different than being a DJ on the radio.
Yeah, because you don't have a crowd in front of you. So you have to imagine the crowd in front of you and then mix your butt off to create that magic happening. But a lot of the mixes were pre-recorded in the very beginning, and they weren't live, but then later on they became live, and I would actually go in the studio and do the mixes live on the air.
Because when we met, you were already doing the morning show. So
yeah, that was at Power 96, not at Hot 105.
So how did you go from 105 to Power 96?
Well, after I left Full Sail, after I graduated from Full Sail Recording for the Arts, I got a call from a guy by the name of Funky Frank, who was the program director at Power 96. Most of the Hot 105 mixers had already transitioned to Power 96. I was the only one that didn't transition. And because I was working at Hot 105 while everyone left. I was the last mixer at Hot 105.
And why did everybody leave? Because it was a new station, it was hipper?
It was a new station, better opportunities, so on and so forth. So everybody migrated over there. I decided to go to school first, and then when I came back from school, I joined the rest of the guys over at Power 96, DJ Laz, Phil Jones, Eddie Mix.
You got to Power 96, but you didn't come straight into the morning show, which is
No, I started as a mixer, and then
What's a mixer?
Just mixing live on the radio, not talking, just mixing. There's one thing, a mixer and an on-air personality. On-air personality actually has a show, talks on the radio, so on and so forth. So I started as a mixer, and then Bo Griffin, rest in peace.
She was amazing.
She's my sister, my soul sister. She was like, you have a beautiful voice. You should start practicing and learn how to be an on-air jock. And I was like, are you sure? She's like, yeah, because baby, you got to come out of your shell. I was like, all right. And I started doing demo air checks, they're called. Started doing air checks. And I submitted the air check to the program director, who was Funky Frank. And he was like, you know what? I'm going to give you a chance. I'm going to put you on overnights 2 to 6 o'clock in the morning. And, used to do these overnight shows. And then he was like, you know what? I'm going to put Laz on with you as well. So me and Laz used to have an overnight.
Yeah, graveyard shift.
Yeah, graveyard shift. And we used to do skits. We were like the Jerky Boys of Miami.
Really?
We would make the prank phone calls and do all that stuff. And we were just having too much fun. It was great. And then later on, it got to a point where I had an opportunity to do the 10 to 2 shift, which was before my 2 to 6 in the morning shift. And then from there, I went to 6 to 10 shift. And then from 6 to 10, I transitioned into the morning show with Bo Griffin and Mark Mosley, who did Tyrone Steele back in the day.
And that's exactly where everyone wants to be, in the morning show.
The morning show, yeah.
That's when you have most of the listeners and everything.
So I was a producer on the morning show. I was an on-air DJ on the morning show, and I was the mixer of the morning show. I was like wearing 3 hats.
What age were you when you got to the morning show?
I was in my 30s.
And how did it feel? You had worked your butt off to get to that level, right?
Yeah. It was gratifying. Very gratifying, yeah.
You were living the
And
dream.
I was doing nightclubs at the same time. So I would stroll in sometimes 2, 3 o'clock in the morning from doing a club and getting 2 hours sleep on the floor, on the mixer floor, and waking up to do the morning show.
But notice, you said you started when you were 12 or 13.
Yeah.
You went to school. You did all these things.
Yeah.
It took you 15 years.
Yeah.
Basically, you're at 30 now.
Yeah.
15 years to kind of live your dream at that time. And people want to do it overnight. It takes time, right?
Yeah. It's not an Instagram moment, party people.
What was the one lesson that you learned by putting in those 15 years to get to where you wanted to get?
To be honest with you,
No, lie to me.
I was doing a lot of editing around that time as well. So meaning I was Like people would come to you and have to get their song club version, a radio version of it, a snippet version of it, or I used to have a company called the Blade Runners with my partner Albie Nieves, and we used to do trick edits. And that would like to spice up the club mixes and stuff like that by doing all these cool little trick edits to the songs. What I should have done was I should have got more into production, because I always wanted to be the Latino Quincy Jones of Miami, right? So that's one thing I would have changed. I would have got more into producing music versus just editing and doing the radio thing. I would have got more into producing music because I would have been further along financially if I would have done that, because I had a creative.
But you don't regret it.
No, I don't, because I'm having an opportunity to do that now. Yeah, me and Mr. Mixer are definitely satisfying that palette that I had to do that back in the day.
What does music do for you?
It keeps me alive. Yeah. I can listen to music all day long. I can produce music all day long. I can talk, about different subject matters all day long. I'm all about music and doing shows and interviewing people and just getting to know, the next level.
I think I saw you, 3 years ago? What's the last time? Or 2 years ago?
It was a little over 2 years.
Yeah, you were doing national radio, right? Or what was it you were doing?
I think I was doing the afternoon show on 93.9 MIA.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
And you were doing really well.
Yeah.
You were on top of your game.
Yeah, I was doing that show, and I was also doing a show for iHeartRadio in West Palm Beach called Mia 92.1, and that was a Latin show. So I was working at a Latin station. I was working at an American station here in Miami at that time.
At that time.
Yeah.
And by this time, you already had your children, because then I started seeing you post a bunch of things of your children.
Yeah.
Because you love your children.
I got 3 boys and 1 girl. Yep.
And you adore them, because I see you posting all that stuff. If you guys haven't been following him, Felix Sama, you'll see how much he loves his children. And I love that, because that's one of my things. Yeah. I wanted to make sure that, I didn't grow up with a father, and I always wanted to make sure that I made a difference in their lives.
Yeah.
So how do you do that? By participating, being a part of their lives. And a lot of times we get so busy with our careers, that we kind of miss out a little bit on that. But I see you always being a part in their lives, no matter.
Yeah, it's important. I mean, throughout the years, my oldest didn't live with me. I would get him every other weekend, so it was tough for me. To be honest with you, some nights I would cry because I really wanted him to live with me. So that was challenging. It was very challenging. I wish I could have been closer to him. I think we would have a more profound relationship, but I make the best of it. I try to see him as much as I can. My middle-aged one, Santana, he was living with me for a while, but now he's living back with his mom up in Jacksonville, and we have a great relationship.
That's awesome.
And then my 2 little ones, well, they're not little, but my 14-year-old Anthony and my 8-year-old Emily, they live with me, and obviously the mom. So we're real happy, try to make the best of it. Yeah.
So where you are today, because this is what I want to bring up, the excitement that you have when you first walked into the studio telling me, oh, you have no idea.
Yeah.
You decided to leave radio.
Yeah.
Which the average person will tell you you're insane, because you were making great amount of money.
Yeah.
You worked your entire life to get to that level.
Yeah.
You're respected as a host, as a talent. I mean, you're one of the best. You're a legend in South Florida. You decided to drop everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why?
I just wasn't having fun anymore, Bert. It just wasn't fun. I wasn't waking up in the morning and going, "Coño, let's go, let's attack it." You know what I mean? It was more like, I gotta go do this again. It just wasn't the creativity, the flow. It just wasn't there for me anymore. And I just decided,
This decision was made recent, right?
Right before COVID.
So
in
before
2000.
COVID.
Yeah. After that, I said, okay, we're going to refocus on the things that we want to do. And that's when I started the podcast show that I designed during COVID was Sama Sutra. And basically what I would do is I would interview artists, more old school artists, but I would also interview TikTok dancers and people of different, different walks of life. But predominantly, I interviewed TKA, Sweet Sensation, Trinier, and the list goes on.
By the way, look these people up because they were really famous.
Yeah. So, that was cool, but I just felt, and after, the hard knocks, I felt that it wasn't scaling and I wasn't getting the viewership that I wanted. So I said, let me put it on the shelf after about 8 months of doing it. So let me put it on the shelf and then come back to it when I have time to figure out what I did right, what I did wrong, and then redesign it. So that's where I'm at now. I'm at the redesigning
But you
stage.
put it on the shelf.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, what else did you do?
I still do all my events, all my private parties, the weddings and all the private functions, the corporate, the celebrity parties, all that stuff. And besides that, I also do a lot of concert promotions. So I've been working with the cities. I worked with the city of Miami Beach. We put on an old school concert series with Shannon, Crystal Waters, TK, and all of that. I did other concerts for different arenas and things of that nature.
You keep yourself busy.
Yeah, keeping myself busy with that and just kind of, designing the things that I feel an interest in. 3 years ago, I partnered up with a good friend of mine, Ricky Fernandez, a.k.a. Speedy Legs. He already had a company called the Pro-Am Dance and DJ Expo, so I partnered up with him in that. And basically what we're doing is we do a once-a-year expo for breakers to come and compete. Not only breakers, but DJs and everybody within the music community to come and be a part of this expo. He's been doing it for 25 years now. We just celebrated the 25-year anniversary, and we get dance schools that come to do exhibitions. We also get DJs from all over the world to come and compete in the battle, the DJ competitions, so on and so forth. So it's really cool because Speedy was very instrumental in bringing breaking out of the streets and putting it into
he was huge
into a structured
Anyone that was a
environment.
breaker from back in the day knew who Speedy Leg was.
Yeah. He created the first point system for breaking. I mean, he saw it as a sport when nobody else did. So, that speaks volumes because look where it's at now. Breaking is an Olympic sport. It's going to be in the 2024 Paris Olympics. So that's awesome.
I mean, you told me that, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. And then last year I became president of a nonprofit called USA Breaking. And basically what we do is we hold competitions in different cities throughout the year. And then in the end of the year, which is coming up right now in December, we have our nationals. That's all the competitors that have won throughout all the competitions come to the nationals to see who reigns supreme and who's going to be the top athlete for USA Breaking.
Tell me about that nonprofit. What is it you guys do besides the events and everything?
So much, man. We work with different organizations, and we try to create opportunities that don't exist now. Like our board consists of really cool people, male, female, black, white, Asian, all eclectic, nationalities, a melting pot of nationalities, which is really cool. And what we want to do is we want to create avenues and opportunities for breakers, get them endorsement deals, help them manage, themselves properly, learn about their social media. A lot of breakers, they don't know how to monetize their social media. They don't know how to gain followers.
Nice.
So we're teaching them all these practices to help them with that, because when you get an endorsement deal, they're expecting you to use your platform to help endorse that product. And if you don't have a platform, it makes it hard for us to do our job. So that's one of the things. We also want to bring in financial managers to help them learn how to manage their money.
That's one of the things you were telling me. It's like
Yeah.
you're teaching them life skills.
Exactly.
Also, so
balance the checkbook. Yeah. All these important things. And then, like I said, there's opportunities for documentaries, the road to the Olympics and all these kids, man, they're spending so much time and learning, how to break and go to these competitions. The other thing is that they get hurt, and sometimes they don't know how to condition their bodies right. So that's another angle that we're teaching them, how to better heal themselves, how to have better dieting practices, things of that nature. So there's a lot of things that USA Breaking does. Education on the proper steps to take when you go to these competitions so that you can have a better advantage, mentally when you go, because it's not all about the physical, it's about the mental state of mind that you're in. And a lot of these kids come from broken homes. So they're already against the wall with that, and then going into these competitions, sometimes they need a little bit of therapy. They need a little bit of guidance. They need a little bit of coaching so that they can have a better head when they go into these competitions or just be able to handle life.
Yeah, you mentioned better head and a strong mindset.
Yeah.
You truly believe in that?
Yeah. Helped me my whole life, to condition myself. Guys like you, to come in and when I'm a little derailed from, my normalcy, for you to come in and say, hey, You got to think about you. Don't worry about what the rest of the world thinks about. You know what I mean? Think about you and the direction you want to go in. You don't have to follow anybody. Be your own person. But stay strong in your mindset. You were the first life coach that I've ever met. You know what I'm saying? Like I never knew about. Now there's greatness coaches. You know what I mean?
Now it's a coach for everything.
Yeah, there's a coach for everything.
There's a new breed of coaches that started when the pandemic came out.
You're right.
No, we've been doing this for years.
But the OGs is the OGs, man. Just like I do my music, I'm the OG, and you're the OG of life coaching, man.
Thank you, man. But the thing is, like you said, the mindset is really important. You're learning these traits, you're learning the skills to be able to do breakdancing. But man, what happens when you get injured? You lose your motivation. But if you keep a positive mindset, and you have all these tools available for you, which is why I love what you guys are doing. Yeah. You're giving them more tools, not just the dancing. We know they want to dance. They know how to dance. They get better at it. But hey, what do you do when you get sponsorship money or endorsements? What's the difference between an endorsement and a sponsorship? And then now you have all this influx of cash. What are you going to do? Go buy watches and chains, or you're going to guide them in the right direction? Yeah. That's so important.
Yeah, learn how to invest your money. You know what I'm saying? How do you go about it?
It's funny though, because we were never that type of kid.
Yeah.
We invested in ourselves.
Yep.
We never cared about the big, watches and chains and everything. I never saw you with a bunch of chains on.
No, I was never that guy. But put a budget together for yourself, a monthly budget. Your savings. Well, you're gonna. Do you want to retire early, or do you want to work till 65, 70? Have that option, where you can retire at 25 or at 30 because you were smart. You took that excess money and you put it to work for you. You know what I'm saying? Like we didn't think like that back then.
Well, there was not that. That training was hard to come by.
Yeah,
you needed to be born in a different family, someone that's already financially, stable. Unlike our parents that were immigrants, they had no idea. They taught us how to work and work harder. Yeah. You need to work to be successful.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you're giving these kids all these tools.
Yeah.
So this is so important. So I love that. And this is probably one of the main reasons that you have this whole motivation.
You don't have to be an athlete. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're doing. We're creating avenues. If you love music, if you love dancing, if you love DJing, you can be a part of our organization.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? We need media directors. We need social media influencers. We need choreographers. We need DJs. We need the DJ behind the DJ. There's just so much. It's full of opportunity. Sky's the limit. You know what I'm saying?
Which I'm glad you said that.
Accountants, lawyers, everything. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole world in itself.
And I'm really happy you said that, because I don't want the person that's saying, well, I don't dance, but I love music. Well, you can be a part of it too.
That's right. How many people does it take to run the NFL? Yeah. It's a sports organization is what we're building. It's a sports organization. So the same thing it takes to run the NFL is what it takes, or an ESPN is what it takes to run a breakdancing platform.
You guys notice how passionate this man is?
Sky's the limit, man.
You're living your dream, man.
Yeah, I am.
You're living your dream.
I found my calling. I found
and we won't say how long it took you, but
it took way too long. But I'm finally here. We're here.
What are some lessons that you can teach your younger self?
Get with people that know what you want to do. Mentorship. Really follow through with the mentorship, because they're going to help you avoid a lot of mistakes.
What are some of the mentors you've had?
Bo Griffin, Cox on the radio, a lot of teachers.
But see, that's one of the things. A lot of times people will tell you, you're great, you're awesome, why don't you try this? And then we're like, oh, no, they're just saying that. You took it into action. Anytime you had a mentor in front of you, you listened, and you applied it immediately. That's why you've been a success since the day I met you. And I'm not saying that because we're here or whatever. Yeah. Since the day I met you, I've always looked up to you, man. This guy is unstoppable. Every business that he did and was a part of has always succeeded. Yeah. But it wasn't his calling. Nope. And now you finally found it.
Yeah.
And it might take you 5 years. It might take you 50 years. And so today's world, everything is about the immediate gratification.
Yeah.
Anything that's worth getting takes time.
Yeah. Yeah. And I could have went, into the podcasting full throttle, but it wasn't time. I'm doing the podcast, but really what I have a passion for is the music and the dancing. I mean, this is a perfect combination. It's a perfect storm for me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really enjoying what I'm doing, especially, helping the kids out as well is definitely gratifying for me.
I can see that. And becoming a president of the organization, is that something you sign up for, or are they like, we want you to be the president?
No, I was voted in. Yeah, I was voted in. It's not the same regime that it was when we first started, but
What do you mean by that?
yeah, like board members leave, come and go, or decide to go. So we had to weed out the fat, cut out the fat, and now we're a lean, mean breaking machine.
Yeah, because I had no idea. The Olympics is huge.
Yeah.
And being able to make breaking into a sport, that's insane. Where do you see Sama in 5 years?
Sama in 5 years, hopefully on a yacht in the Bahamas.
That was last week, man.
Where do I see myself 5 years? Overseeing
for real. Really?
Overseeing all the accomplishments and taking more of a backseat so I can spend more time with my kids. Taking more of a backseat, watching breaking on a televised network like ESPN or NBC.
That brings a smile to your face.
And going, wow, man, it took a minute, but we got it done. The mission was accomplished.
I see it's going to happen.
Yeah.
See, when you believe in something so strong, the question is not, is it going to happen?
It's when it's going to happen.
It's when it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And that's where you're at right now.
But I'm also doing a lot of concert promotion work.
No, you still do your other things.
Yeah.
We were just talking about partnering up in other things. So you still do other things. But the passion that this breaking thing has done for you is just amazing.
It's my pet project.
And you're in a position right now to be able to do that. All the years of experience, all the years of being around all this talent, and all these people.
Yeah, it's got me prepared for this position. Yeah, you're right, man.
Yeah,
it really has.
That's what people don't understand. You got to do your time. You got to work. You got to learn your craft.
Yeah,
success doesn't happen overnight. It happens over time.
Yeah,
and in this world that we live in now, you call it what, Instagram famous or whatever.
Instagram moment. Yeah,
yeah. That's not what life is about.
No.
And I talk about it all the time. I tell people, they only show you what they want you to see.
That's right.
There's not one person, it doesn't matter what level you're in, whether you're uber rich, uber famous, you're just the person next door. We're all going to issues and situations in our lives. It's what builds our character.
Yep.
But when you are able to learn from these issues and situations and able to build yourself as a person, this is when everything falls in place. It's not falling in place because you stumble across it. No, it's because all these years you've been in the music business, these years you've been into the dancing thing. You've been in this world for your entire life since you were 13 years old.
You're right. And then when you see it, they're like, oh, well, I could do that. And no, you can't. Not at this level, because there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that went into this sacrifice. You know what I mean? Literally sacrifice, where it's like, am I going to eat today or not? You know what I mean? Like, it gets grimy, bro. It really does. When you're first starting off and you're deciding whether you're going to work at Burger King or wait for your next DJ gig, you know what I mean? It gets a little scary. It gets a little scary. Obviously, you're going to do what you got to do to survive. But there comes a point in your life where you got to make a decision. Am I going to, do whatever I got to do to just feed myself and then put all my passion into this thing that I want to do? Or am I just going to give into this 9 to 5 and not, seek my dreams and all that stuff? So you have to make a decision in your life what's really going to make you happy.
And as you get older, it gets more difficult because now you have responsibilities.
Exactly.
So it's not just you anymore. Because when you're younger, you're like, I can take more risk. And the sad is some young people, there's a quote that says, youth is wasted on the young. Because they won't take the risk when they're young. They're just, I can do it next week. I can.
Yeah.
Time doesn't wait for you, man.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is not promised.
Yeah.
But as you get older, you now are like, okay, I should have taken those risks when I was younger, but now I have responsibility. So then people.
But you can still do it.
You should.
You can still do it. You just got to do it very planned and careful. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you're done with your work, take 2-3 hours to focus on that craft.
Yeah, play on your hustle. You got to work your hustle.
Yep.
And people, but that's what I'm saying. So you have both extremes, right? People are like, well, I got enough time because I'm young and I can go ahead and wait. No. And then the other person that I'm too old and have too much responsibility. No, man. No risk, no reward.
Yep.
You have to give it a shot. The day you stop trying to live your dream, you just gave up on life.
Mm-hmm.
People, you know how it is. Till this day, what you're doing, even though you're making it sound really beautiful and nice, you're risking things.
Yeah.
And that's what success is all about. When you see these people online that they're like, oh, he's very successful, she's very successful, is because they are every day risking something.
Yeah, man.
It's part of the game.
Absolutely. And another thing that you need to be aware of is when you have the money, invest in it. Don't let it sit in the bank, because you're wasting it, is basically what you're doing, because it's not working for you.
That's great advice.
You know what I'm saying? You got to invest. I wish I would have done a lot more of that, because I would have been a lot better off. I mean, I'm not.
You're in a great place.
No, I'm in a great. But I'm just saying, if I would have done that, I would have had the 10 to 20 properties that I could use right now. You know what I mean? But it's not too late. You got to live and learn.
Yeah.
You know?
And then most people live, but they don't learn.
Yeah.
So investment is really important. So I like that. What other lesson would you tell the younger audience, or even the older audience? Because it's the same thing. Age is just a number.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
So you're never too old to learn, and you're never too young to get started.
It's just be smart about what you do with your time. The best thing that you can do in your life is create a time calendar for yourself, so that you're accountable for every single hour that you're breathing. That's what you need to do. That way you can look back and you can say, wow, I got a lot accomplished this week. Or you could say, wow, I didn't get shit accomplished this week. I need to step it up. And then move those things that you didn't get accomplished to the next day. And then look at and make sure that you schedule yourself accordingly to the things that deserve your priority. You know what I'm saying? But because if you don't do that, then you can't track yourself and you can't track your success. Ooh. So make sure that you put a calendar together for yourself so that you're responsible for every hour that you're living.
Man, you're on a roll. Give me a third one.
Bro, that's $1 million.
That was great, man. One more. Come on. There you go.
Make sure that you're well rested, because you can't really function properly unless you get a proper amount of sleep. You know what I'm saying? And then, we all splurge on the eating and all that stuff, but make sure you get the proper nutrition as well. Proper nutrition and proper sleep are going to make you successful the next day.
Proper sleep is just having enough hours sleeping, or having...
Everybody's different. Like for me, as long as I get 6 hours, I'm fully functional. If I get 3 or 4 hours, I'm not good the next day. Like 100%. I'll be 75, 80. I like to be 100% every day as much as possible.
But if you're working on a project and that's fine.
Yeah, that's.
But then make sure to catch up.
Exactly.
Don't burn yourself out.
Exactly. Because you want to be as functional as possible, because that's where your creativity comes in, right? Like sometimes you may be sleeping and you get you get that great thought in the middle of the night and you're like, oh, I got to go write this down. And you write that down. But those things happen because you are getting the proper rest and stuff like that. At least I believe so.
No, you're right on the money. That's part of the process.
Yeah, I think getting the proper amount of rest is really important, especially for DJs. We're creative creatures. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times we'll go on and on and on and on and discount the fact that we need our rest, man. Getting your rest is really important.
It's what keeps you sharp.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. That's what it does.
That's what keeps you sharp.
Yeah.
And alert.
Yes.
Because you have to be alert to succeed.
Yeah.
Because we miss out on the opportunities because, oh my God, I didn't catch it. I'm too tired.
Yep.
And that's part. So we're not saying that you don't hustle. You don't, work your hustle and hit it hard. Yeah, work hard. Yeah. But don't forget to rest. Yeah. Because then you're not sharp and you miss out on opportunities.
Yeah. And don't party too much. Well, because you miss out on opportunities. At a young age, you don't want to hear that, but it's true. Don't party too much because you're going to miss out on opportunities.
Yeah, I tell people, you know what? At the end of the day, why don't you earn your successes and then you can party all you want.
Yeah. Not
go ahead and, I just made $100,000. Let me go ahead and party because I can make it again. It's not as easy as people think. Especially when this whole thing happened, a couple of years ago, the world stopped. Not our country, the world stopped. Why wait for something like that to happen when you can go ahead and seize the moment and live your purpose-driven life?
Yeah, man. That's really what it's all about, to live a life that you're proud of and that you can provide, whether it's for you, your wife, whoever it may be, or to create a movement like a nonprofit or an institution where people can come and enjoy what you feel is going to better the world.
You know, so it's funny though, because you had many mentors in your life, and now you are a mentor to many. It's crazy how it shifted, right?
Yeah.
But you don't see yourself as a mentor,
No,
but you'd
I don't.
be surprised.
Don't, yeah.
You know,
No.
and these kids are going to go ahead and call you maybe 5 years from now, 10 years from now, Salma, man, if it
They
wasn't.
do already, man.
see?
It's crazy. Remember when I used to have the DJ school? A lot of DJs that are now 15, 10 years in the game, they're like, I had the first DJ school in Miami
I
back
remember.
in 2000. Jam Master Jay, rest in peace, from Run DMC, came to my school, saw what I was doing, and went back up to New York and started the Scratch Academy. And it's still around today, one of the biggest schools, DJ schools in the world.
But you see, you become a mentor not when you're going with the mindset as my mentees. Like these kids, and you're talking about back in the day, they're calling you, man, you changed my life. And you don't realize these things. You just got to be you. You got to stop trying to be like any other influencer. You got to stop trying to be you. Be the best you can be. And life will reward you. You know, look at all these things that are happening to you right now. It's like, oh, because Sama is lucky. It's not lucky. It's all those years that he worked on his craft. And now look, everything is coming together.
Yep.
And
Yep.
you know how to seize the opportunity because you're getting enough rest, right?
No. Yeah. But, you know, because it's funny, I had an aha moment because sometimes I'll see my mom, you know, after not seeing her for like 2 or 3 months, and I sit down and I talk to her, and she's like, she calls me Gaye. She goes, ¿Y qué, Gaye? ¿Qué tú estás haciendo ahora? What are you doing now? And I tell her, and she's like my reality check. You know what I mean? Like when I talk to her and I tell her one thing or what I'm thinking about doing, and she'll be like, yeah, and I'm like, okay, that's not a good idea. Let me think about something else. You know, the people the closest to you, not a rule of thumb, but for me, the people closest to you are your reality check because they've known you your whole life. You know what I'm saying? And they won't bullshit you. They'll tell you what time it is.
But they also don't want you to get hurt. So a lot of
Yes.
times they'll hold you back from your dreams. They're like, you know what? Get a job.
That's true too. That part is true too. But I'm not talking about the career thing.
Right,
though. I'm
right.
talking more about, you know, your personality and the way that you portray yourself.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean?
Where's your mom live?
She lives up in Coconut Creek.
Okay, you only visit her once a month. I'm gonna have to talk to you about this.
Yeah, man, I need to see her more often. Yeah, I definitely do. Mama Sama, I love you. I love you so much. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love my mom.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, man.
So, man, thank you so much.
Oh, it's my pleasure, man.
You know, this is my first podcast of a series that we're going to be doing. About
Oh, that's
real
great,
people,
man.
real
You should have
stories.
been doing this a long time ago, man. I see your little excerpts on your Instagram, and I'm like, wow, you be pumping me up. Be like, yeah, that's right. I am me. Yeah. I can take on the world.
And then
I
the
love
clip,
that
then the
there's
clip ends.
But that's cool, though. Those little clips make you want to see more clips, make you want to motivate yourself more. Really cool. I think you're onto something with that, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I'm going to share this with you. You know what I do? I used to do clips that were like scripted, right? Let's talk about this today. Let's talk about that. And I decided, you know what? I don't want to do that anymore. What I do is I'm getting interviewed by someone, and I'll record that session.
That's a good idea.
And then that way you are really being honest and true, and the things that are coming out of your mouth.
Yep. That's a good idea. And they're more impactful.
Those are the clips
yeah,
you're
it's
seeing.
more impactful.
That's what you're seeing now, you
Yeah,
know? So I'm
yeah.
like, you know what? I don't want to be scripted anymore. I don't want to do it the professional way. I just want to be me, man.
Yeah, I just had a thought we got to do. We'll design it a little later. But those little vocal, motivational sentences that you got.
Yeah, they're called sound bites. You know this.
Yeah, those little sound bites. Those sound bites for TikTok videos would be amazing.
But it's crazy
Yeah.
because the sound bites have blown up now because we live in the fast food society. Fast food is not fast enough. So everything works around 15 seconds. Everything has to be quick.
Yep.
You know, and it's cool, but you have to dive in. You know, you can listen to Sama and talk about how to become a break dancer and this and that, but you got to put your time in.
That's right.
You're looking at this man here, the reason that he's doing what he loves in his life right now and having a nonprofit and still have the company to do the weddings and all these things is because he followed his dream and he never gave up. So at the end of the day, you got to find your purpose, man. You got to do it for you.
Yeah.
Everybody else will benefit. Don't do it because your parents want you to do it. Don't do it because your significant other told you this is a good idea. Yeah. Do things for you. If you truly believe that it's going to help people, then do it.
Yeah. And then you get to a certain position where all those little pet projects that you have on the shelf,
they fall in place.
All of a sudden, there's an opportunity for that to come to the limelight. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm finding now. All these projects, these reality show concepts that I've had and all that, they're going to come to fruition.
They are.
Yeah.
Why? Because this is...
I already did the work.
But you got to do the work the first time. Just put it out. Don't be concerned.
You're going to have that aha moment where it's all going to make sense.
Have you ever gone back to your mixes and said, oof? Or you go back and go, oh, that's pretty cool.
I normally go, that's pretty cool, but I'm pretty anal about it. I'm like one of those, that's pretty cool, but it could have been better.
But you did it.
But I did it.
And that's what got you to where you are today.
Yes.
And most people don't do it. They want to do it perfect. Perfect never works. Get it done.
Yeah.
Put it out there.
Yeah.
And this is what Sama has done. And
the time is now, man.
Yeah, this is my brother. I just want to thank you.
No, thank you, man. You've been an inspiration to me my whole life, man.
And you are to me too,
since
man.
I met you, bro. So I appreciate you always being a positive, motivating factor.
Thank you.
In all our conversations, I really appreciate that, man.
And this is the important thing I also want to share. Stick with those friends. These are lifetime friends. Whether you do business with each other or not, that's not the point. If there's a connection there, man, just reach out every now and then. We don't speak as often as we should, but now we're even thinking about doing other things together. You guys are going to find out about it. But that's what it takes. That's what it takes.
It's organic.
So I love you, brother.
Love you too, man.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, bro. Bro, got a little surprise for you.
Let me see what you got.
I don't come empty-handed. I always come with little regalitos, as I call them. So you got some USA breaking for you and the wifey. And for your kids, too. Hopefully they fit everybody. I got one in every side.
Okay. And by the way, how do we get to this nonprofit? Do you go to USA
Breaking.org, USABreaking.org. Hey, you got to pop lock when you put it on, though, bro. You can't just put it on and not do a move.
Oh, wait,
you got it, bro. You got it.
Here we go. Wait. Oh. Thank you for the gift.
Enjoy.
Thank you guys for watching, and keep doing what you're doing. Keep making it happen. By the way, my name is Bert Oliva and Felix Sama.
Yeah.
And we're Cuban born.
That's right.
And
American made. Yeah.
Going out to my locals. Yo So, Don Dinero, DJ Sama. Aquí vamos.
De volar. Que más carne ni más carne. Se así que viene sano.
Me vuelve loco, como lo mueve. The way she makes me feel drives me crazy. Como lo mueve. The way she makes me feel.
She be looking like whoa, eso. Little mommy like whoa, eso. She be looking like whoa. Now take it to the floor, no, dos, tres. Come on, I'm gonna make that thing feel good tonight. I'm gonna make that thing drip tonight. Chill out, girl, let's party all night. Drinks on me, get lit like a light. Damn, girl, can we just have a flame? It ain't nothing but a sex thing. Trust me, ma, nobody gotta know you a freak in the bed. That's how it go. Shake that up, you gon' bring the drama. Mueve ese culo con DJ Sama.